Hi, Wild Ones. Welcome back to the Wild Rose podcast. I'm Whitney Rose.
I'm Connie Daniels.
We are so excited. Today we have an amazing guest, someone that we all know and love, Samantha Bush, aka Bravo historian. But before we bring her on, I want to know, Connie, what was the wildest thing that happened to you this week?
Wildest thing. Okay, well, actually, I celebrated my anniversary with my husband, which doesn't sound that wild, but our story is kind of wild. I married him twice. So we celebrated, I think this is 8 years in our second marriage, but we were first married for 11. So it's kind of crazy. Like,
Okay, wait. You got to tell the story. So you were married?
Yes. Married when I was 20, almost 21, then was 24. It's kind of young. Had our children pretty quickly. Then, we made it 11 years before we got divorced.
And how long were you divorced?
Everyone asks us that, which I think is pretty, I think everyone wants to know because it's like, okay, when you remarry each other, maybe you get divorced for like a year and then you're like, figured out, oh, I made a mistake. Let's get back together. But no, we were divorced for about 3 years. So, and we had time to find other people, but we found our way back to each other.
And now you're celebrating 8 years.
8 years. But really, we don't really count that little hiccup in the road, as we call it.
So how many years total is that? Help me with that.
It would
19 plus 3, 21 years.
Yeah. Well, we
22?
got married. We first got married in 2000, January of 2000 was when we first got married. So it would be 22 years. Well, almost 23.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
I know. I saw your Instagram post. I've missed you this week.
I know.
I thought I'd be invited to the anniversary dinner, but you must have forgot to text me.
I wanted to invite you. I think you were gone. I think you're out of town.
Well, congratulations. I mean, I know that 3 years apart, then getting back together, that's like, you two are meant to be together.
We definitely are. I'm grateful for it. I'll tell you what, I dated in Salt Lake City for a minute and it's rough out there.
Yeah. See, you had been remarried just a couple years when I met you. Mm-hmm. So I never knew single Connie.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Married Connie is much better, I promise you.
Well, I've had a lot of wild things happen to me this week. But I have to say, so I was at the Al Bar, which is at Sundance Ski Resort, celebrating a friend's birthday. And after dinner wrapped, Justin and I went into the Al Bar because it's our anniversary month this month too.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. But Justin and I just went into the Al Bar. We were married at Sundance. So we thought, let's just go into the bar, get a drink.
I didn't know you guys were married up there.
Mm-hmm. We got married at Sundance, 11/22. I'm sitting in the Al Bar and Justin and I are just in a deep conversation and someone goes, "Hi, Whitney." And I look over and, I'm used to getting recognized here and there or running into friends. Mm-hmm. I don't know these people. There's a table of 3 women, not very many people in the bar. And I'm holding Justin's phone looking at a photo or something. And she goes, "Hi, Whitney." And I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" Like kind of thinking, do I know you? Am I supposed to know you? What's going on? And she goes, "My name is so-and-so." And I dropped Justin's phone to the ground. I'm not going to say the name, but the person, it was so shocking to hear the name that she goes, "My name is so-and-so, and I'm so-and-so's daughter-in-law." And I dropped my phone to the ground because it was so shocking. So I'll tell the story without saying names, but she knows my father.
Oh.
And I haven't spoken to my dad in over 2 years.
Right.
So I've heard rumors that he's living in his friend's home and his friend died of COVID a couple years ago. I know this friend. They go way back. He was a popular surgeon here in Utah. They were great friends.
Oh, wait, I remember you mentioning him years ago when he lived there. I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah, he died of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, my dad stayed with him on and off throughout the years. So so this is that man's daughter-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I pull up a seat at her table because I'd heard rumors that my dad, when he left my home and stopped talking to me, he moved in with this man.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say that's not a great situation for my dad and his sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
So I had heard rumors he was living there. I had heard that this man died. And then I heard that my dad was dating his wife.
Oh, wait, the friend of his that passed away?
Yeah. So my dad...
His widow.
Yes, his widow.
Oh.
So I had heard these rumors and I'm like, okay, I could see my dad living there, staying there, whatever. I mean, I could believe the story.
Sure.
And I did have my brother Will went over there one time and was like, yeah, he's living there. So I knew, but now I'm sitting here with the man that died's daughter-in-law. And she downloads the entire situation to me. Okay.
So tell me how she feels about this situation.
They don't feel great about it. It's actually a whole situation. So my dad is taken over his friend's life. He is living in the home, driving his cars, and now dating his wife.
Oh my gosh. Because you've had no idea where he's been
No, I've just kept hearing these rumors that he was living at this man's house. And so I'm like, oh, he's squatting in a dead man's house. Like that is it sounds bizarre, but I could believe it because there was other people living there. So I'm like, oh, maybe this man left the house to them,
That he's dating the widow.
Yeah, but it is a whole situation and the family's trying to, the family's suing the ex-wife and because she isn't giving over his personal items, things like that, that's owed to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really about the house or the wife. They want some of the belongings from their father, right?
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because one of the reasons why I stopped talking to my dad, do you remember the motorcycle incident where he drove over on a new motorcycle and had a big fit in front of the kids and he dumped the bike? That was the man's motorcycle.
Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah, your dad was coming over to babysit your kids. And your kids, I remember we were out to dinner or something. They called you. They were so upset. They're like, what's up with grandpa? He's making us worried and dumped over a motorcycle.
Yeah. So it wasn't
even his.
It wasn't his. It was this man's.
Oh my God.
So that was kind of wild. I'm just sitting in a bar and this person tells me that they're literally trying to get my dad out of.
So that's the update on your dad.
Yeah. There's the update on my dad. But the positive in that is he's alive and he's well.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's good. That's good news.
Yeah.
But gosh, wow.
Damn. Huh.
That's unexpected. That is wild.
It was so shocking because when she said her name and who she was, I literally my hands went numb and I just dropped Justin's phone. Because I'm like, oh no.
Did the phone survive the fall?
It survived the fall because you have to keep in mind when you're not talking to a family member, even if it's the right thing to do, you're always worried for that person. Are they okay? Especially with my dad's circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And I just am always so nervous that someone's going to call me and give me bad news or something, Wow. But yeah, my dad has taken over his dead friend's life.
Oh my gosh.
Including his wife.
Wow. Well, I don't even know what to say. I'm kind of speechless to that.
Well, I know, right? This is so
I need
wild.
to process this.
Process that. I mean, we could dive into the layers on layers of that, but yeah, that was pretty wild.
That is.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
All right. Well, after the break, we will be bringing on our guest, Samantha Bush, AKA Bravo Historian. Hi, Wild Ones. Welcome back. We have our beautiful guest, Samantha Bush, AKA Bravo Historian from Hot Off the Mess. Welcome, Samantha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. Samantha, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited we're going to be talking. We're on our little podcast together, like figuring it out, being
Just
moguls.
just two little podcasters out at sea.
Yeah.
Sam, I am so excited to introduce you to my good friend Connie. I don't think you got to meet her at BravoCon.
No.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. So lovely to meet
I
you.
know. How do you guys know each other?
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I'm so curious.
We have been good friends for about 6 years now.
yeah.
We actually met one night and then bought a boat together that like 2 days later. And then the rest is history.
I love that.
Yeah. Just have
I
you ever
need to
had a
meet
friend?
someone and buy a boat with them.
Yeah. Have you ever met someone you just became instant friends?
Yes. And now I
Yes.
live with her. Yes.
Oh, exactly.
Mhm.
If Connie and I weren't married with families, we'd probably live together.
Yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, it was like we met and it was like friendship at first sight. It was just like it clicked, so I totally get it.
How did you meet her?
On Instagram.
No way.
Yeah, just a meeting of the minds on Instagram. She lives near me and she was like asking me if I wanted to get drinks and I was like, "Sure." And then we got drinks together and it was literally like we were inseparable since.
That's
So,
so
yeah, no.
fun. Where do you live?
Girl, I'm in Detroit. I'm in the trenches. It's tough out here, but no, I'm kidding. It's great. I love being close to my family, so.
Amazing. Well, at least you have, a solid roommate in case something goes down, like you're prepared.
Oh, for
And
sure.
you can call
for sure.
us. We'll be there in a second.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Samantha, I loved
Mhm.
meeting you at BravoCon. I love your Instagram page, Bravo Historian, and your podcast, Hot Off the Mess. But I have so many questions for you because there are so many Bravo fan accounts out there, so many reality TV critics. And I just want to know
Mhm.
more about your story, about your journey. How did you become a Bravo fan critic account?
Oh my
Why
god.
reality TV? Why Bravo? How did you get here?
Oh my god, where to begin? Like, my love of celebrity and reality television started, like, super, super young. I was always obsessed with, like, People Magazine. If it wasn't in People Magazine, like, it wasn't, real. Like, they, to me, were, like, the real last, like, source of, like, this is, like, for real, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Um So I was obsessed with People Magazine, and then I was obsessed with watching Oprah. I was obsessed with watching Regis and Kelly. Like, I was obsessed with celebrity culture, and then I started getting into reality television, obviously with, like, The Newlyweds, with Jessica and Nick, Simple Life, Flavor of Love, Rock of Love. Like, Real World, like, I was just nonstop, and then one day I was, like, flipping through the channels and I came across Bravo, and it was, like, during the age of, like, Flipping Out with Jeff
Yes.
Lewis, which became, like, my obsession. And then one day I was watching and it was Real Houses of Atlanta was my gateway into Real Housewives. It was their reunion. And I was like, "What is this? Like, who are these people? I'm obsessed with them." It was, like, Kim versus Nene, and they were all in, like, Kim was in this yellow satin blouse with, like, a vest. Nene, I think, was in leggings. Like, it was so different than how it is now, and I just became obsessed with it, and then I watched New York, and then, next came, I think it was, Atlanta was on at the same time as New York, whatever, and then New Jersey and Beverly Hills. Like, I love it. I love it all. But as far as, like, my Instagram account goes, I started it because no one in my life, my real life, really watches reality TV. Like, my mom thinks it's so embarrassing. She, like, thinks it's so stupid. And I loved it. And, like, I wasn't able to talk to anybody about it. And so I was like, let me start this Instagram and see, like, what if I can, like, maybe meet other people that have the same interests I do. And I had no intention of it, like, ever growing. Like, I don't think of it in that way. I just wanted to talk about people that I loved, who I, like, felt like were, like, my crazy aunts. And, it just kind of grew and grew and grew, and it's just been, like, the most exciting, like, journey ever. I, like, thank Bravo for everything in my life.
It's funny because that it has changed so much.
So
Like
much.
you watch the first OG reunions and it's like just kind of like what Connie and I are wearing right now. It's like your every day, just over the years,
Every
it
day.
turned into like all about the
Gowns.
outfits, the gowns. I mean, it's like our prom,
No, it
honestly.
is, and it's like Real Housewives, like a Met Gala. That's how I look at reunions, is like, what are they wearing? Like, and I always find it so interesting, the kind of style is different on each show. So, like, Orange County, they're always none of them are ever in a gown. They're in, like, cocktail dresses that you buy at, like, BB, you know? And that's okay, but it's
Yeah.
different than, like, Atlanta, who, like, comes out in, like, full glam. Like, Portia wore a tiara. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
it's so crazy to me, and oh god, I just love Housewives. Love you guys.
What is your favorite franchise?
Oh my god.
Besides Salt Lake, of
Yeah,
course.
no, Salt Lake City, you guys have something that's very different. You guys have, like, such a different energy that I love, because it's like you guys are seemingly, like, so new to me that, like, I can't wait for every Wednesday, 9 PM. My roommate and I sit down and we watch Salt Lake City. It's, like, our favorite thing. And so right now I love Salt Lake City, I love Potomac, and I want New York to, like, figure their shit out. Like, I can't
Right.
take this.
I know.
It's,
We
like, so
have,
up in the air. It's so upsetting.
like you, I have no shame to admit, I'm obsessed with reality TV. I love Bravo. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like my obsession with Bravo really like manifested me becoming a housewife.
I love
But I
that.
never wanted to be a housewife. Like I never imagined that. It
Right.
just happened. But
Mhm. And
um
I think just as a viewer, like, what sets Salt Lake City apart is obviously, like, you all are, like, so different from one another. Like, there's not, like, 2 women on the show where I'm like, "Wow, like, they have a lot of similar," like, you all are, like, these, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, you are not characters because you're real people, but, like, you all are very different from one another, yet it works. Like, I like seeing that, and I like seeing the dynamic change, especially, like, this season. I'm obsessed with you and Lisa Barlow together. Like, obsessed. Yeah, and we see it a lot on Housewives where, like, 2 people don't get along for a little while, and then once they're friends, it's like that's, like, a real friendship, like, they're
yeah.
actually close, and I feel like that is kind of what we're getting with you and Lisa. And I mean, the BravoCon Salt Lake City panel, I was with my friend, and we were fully holding ourselves like, onto each other. Like, we couldn't believe what was happening. It was crazy.
I know. The welcome to reunion. That's what reunions are like.
We were shaking, like, literally shaking.
Just imagine.
We were looking at each other like, "Is this happening right now? Like, is this really going on?" It was the best hour of my life, and the line to get to your panel was bananas. I don't know if you've seen, like, video or anything of it. I People were lined up for over an hour. Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought that there was another panel going on at one point because I was like, "Is this all for Salt Lake?" Like, it was winding around, like, the entire room. It was
Oh
crazy.
wow, I'll have to look
Yeah.
up those videos. I haven't seen
Yeah,
them.
it was really
But
cool.
welcome to reunion, and we do that for about 10 to 12, maybe 14 hours.
I would see, like, this is why I love Housewives so much, is, like, I have so much respect for you guys, even the ones that I don't really care for. I always say
Mhm.
on my podcast, I don't hate any housewife. I genuinely don't. There's only one housewife, and she goes by the name of Kelly Dodd, that I actually hate. But other than that, because she, like, tried to attack me on Twitter, it was, like, really crazy. She was, like, trying to dox me. It was, like, a really wild time. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it was fine, but she's just, like, ridiculous. Anyway, so I love you guys because you put it all out there in a way that, like, people need to, like, respect that a little bit more, because it's like, could you get on TV? Susan from, Nebraska, could you do that and show your life and, like, bear it all? Probably not. So, like, let's put some respect on these girls' names.
Right. And speaking of that, like that leads perfect into one of my questions for you is like
Mm.
talking about BravoCon and cringy moments. And when I found out that you were going to be the moderator of Bravo, Bravo, fucking Bravo panel, I was kind of nervous because I'm like, I don't think
Why?
Samantha Bush likes me
No.
because of
Here's the thing,
Justin and I's love is art scene, the cringiness. Like, I was like, I got nervous all of a sudden. I was like,
No.
Samantha doesn't like me.
No,
This
that's
is
not
going to be
true.
interesting.
No, here's the thing. I like every housewife because I just respect you guys so much for what you put out there. And I've seen so many things on these shows that, like, genuinely that scene, like, in the moment, it was like shocking. But now looking back, I'm like, okay. Like, and I've seen a woman go to like jail and come home from prison on this show. Like, I've seen the crazy, I saw SWAT teams surround a Sprinter van last year.
Yep.
Like, that to me trumps the love is art scene. Like, it's not something that I would ever like look at you and be like, that's really crazy, Whitney.
Yeah, I
Like, it
mean,
was
it is
crazy for the show, but
cringy.
it's
Yeah,
not like the end of the world.
when I watch it, I still cringe a little bit, but back to your point, it's like, yeah, but I was being myself and I didn't realize that people were going to cringe. I'm like, oh, this is me.
Yeah, I cringed more at Meredith and Seth being in the bathtub. Truthfully, I was like, this is really weird. I'm like, these are two people that have never been this close together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that to me was just more of a
Very
shock.
forced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
So what
what's
is
going
your
on
like
here?
favorite cringiest moments on any reality TV? It could be Housewives
Any?
or yeah, anything. Like, what is the cringiest, like the one
The
favorite or
cringiest?
worst cringiest?
Oh my God. Well, oh my God. My favorite moments obviously was the Sprinter van last year on Salt Lake City. That was a piece of like reality television like art in my opinion. Like the editing and everything that happens on Salt Lake City is so Emmy worthy. It's honestly, I find it disgusting that the Academy like looks over Real Houses of Salt Lake City because that like montage at the beginning of this season was some of the most incredible like moments.
Mm-hmm.
Um I love that. I mean, obviously the moment when Luann gets caught like after she fucks the pirate and she's like speaking French to a group of Italians. I'm like, Luann, like that to me is so peak Housewives, like crazy, like cringe behavior. My other favorite moments, like I love the moment when Teresa comes home from prison to see her daughters. I love that. The mime scene in Potomac, like, is just really funny to me. Atlanta season 9 reunion when Phaedra and Candy go at it. Like, these are all moments that I like love.
Yeah.
And it was crazy too being a fan because you knew that these things happened, right? Like, we all knew that like there was a SWAT team surrounding the van at one point. Like, but in our minds, we had this idea, you know, of what happened. And then to watch it play out exactly how we all imagined it
Mm-hmm.
was something so fulfilling. It was crazy. Like, I know it's your life and like this really happened. But
Yeah.
like for us, we were living. It was
This was,
amazing. Documentary style HBO Max. It's everything to me.
I mean, I still can't wait. I hope one day we get to be on Dateline. That's a dream of mine. Not
No,
because I'm like
Whitney.
suspect for something. I want to be like the witness on
No,
Dateline.
Whitney, I think about that all the time. I literally told my boyfriend, I go, if I'm ever something happens to me, if I go missing or if I'm murdered, I want a Dateline special. I go, I want you sitting in front of a fireplace talking about how I light up a room. Like,
Uh-huh.
that's what I want. So yeah, same.
We share that.
I hope
Also,
you
Whitney, I
don't
have
go
another
missing though.
question. No, let's hope not. I also have another question for you.
If she
It's something
does, we
I'm
know who did
thinking
it.
about a
Yeah, we do.
lot.
Yeah.
Thinking
What
about
is
a
it?
lot. Okay. When you guys were on that bicycle thing where you're drinking.
Yes. Like the booze cruise trolley cart.
Something happened to you that I found was so upsetting is a housewife, a cast member, poured what I believe to be a seltzer literally down your skirt.
Yeah. Talk about passive aggressive.
I was like, oh my God. My roommate and I were shaking. We're like, isn't that like so sticky? Like so uncomfortable? Why are they pouring drinks on her? We were so upset about this. We were like, because I was just thinking of like this state of like like your stuff, like your
Yeah.
vagina.
Luckily, I had no infections after.
Oh my
Luckily, I
God,
was
I
able
was
to
so concerned.
shower.
Thank you. I didn't want to say it,
Yeah.
but I was so
No,
concerned.
luckily, I was able to rinse off and shower, and
Okay, good.
hygiene was on point because I was really concerned about that. I'm like, do you know how much sugar are in these
Oh, like, that's
seltzers?
so bad.
Yeah. And
I
I'm
was
not
so
about to wait.
worried.
And I can't
Yeah.
wait for reunion to clarify. I have a lot of clarified
Everything.
details and comments and receipts, and I'm so excited to clarify how
I can't
that,
wait. I can't
yeah.
wait for you to, like, speak your truth, you
You
know?
know, is this what you do full time now? Are you like
Yeah.
full time Bravo critic fan? Like, what would you title yourself?
So, it's funny because when I started my account, I was just a receptionist at a dental office, and I did this obviously for fun, and I live in Michigan, so I'm not, like, around, like, a ton of social media people, like how I would be if I was in like New York or LA. So I was just kind of on my own doing it. And then it grew. And now I do it full time. So I have my podcast and then I also work for Betches. So I run the bride's account on Betches.
Yes.
So Bravo is still like it's a job for me, but it's still just very much like a passion.
When did you start this? How long ago? The
August of
podcast.
2018.
Oh,
Yeah.
I started my account. And then my podcast I started end of April, beginning of May 2021. Yeah.
So there's hope for us.
yeah.
There's
Guys,
hope for
I'm
us.
telling you, like there's so much in the podcasting space. Like it's the most downloaded like medium or whatever. I'm sure they've told you this. But yeah, it's incredible. And like the way that you are able to connect with people through podcasting is very different and so much more fulfilling than like Instagram because they get to see the real you. They get to see a more unfiltered you. And like it's really crazy how much you're just willing to share on a podcast. Like I leave podcasting sometimes and I'm like, what the fuck did I say? Like,
Right?
what
It's
did
like
I
you
just
black
open
out.
up about? Like, why
Yeah.
did I share like traumas from my childhood? Like, what happened to me? It's really crazy. But then like people message you and they're like, oh my God. I'm sure you experience this with Housewives too, but with podcasting, you'll definitely probably experience it more. And people
Yeah.
like
And
connecting.
absolutely. And I think that's what's so fulfilling about all of this. Like,
Mhm.
because it's scary to share your true, authentic self,
It is.
experiences we've been through, things that we have done or things that have happened to us.
Mhm.
It's hard. And that was one of my biggest motivators for doing this podcast because I get to control it
Mhm.
and it's not about drama.
No, it's about
It's
you and
about,
being vulnerable and connecting.
yes. And there's been so many amazing people reaching out, sharing their stories. And I am all about women, supporting women and
I
raising
love
each other
that.
up. Like, and that doesn't always translate on a housewife show,
Well, of course, but
but that really is me to my core.
no,
And
meeting you in real life was so amazing because you on the show, like, obviously, you come off like there's so many things to love about you, and then just to meet you in real life, like, you really are that person, and you're even sweeter and nicer, but you're also very outspoken, and, like, my friend who came with me said to me, she's like, "I fell in love with Whitney at BravoCon." Like,
oh,
legit, like, you are now, like, one of her favorites, so, yeah, it's gonna be really incredible, I'm, like, really happy for you.
I thank you so much, Samantha. It
Yeah,
means
you're
so
welcome.
much. But so outside of reality TV, we wanted to know, Connie and I,
Mhm.
do you watch much scripted TV? If you do, what do you watch? And have you had any like celebrity encounters, or what's like the wildest either celebrity encounter or reality TV star
Oh
encounter
my god.
in scripted? Just something to think about. Or
Mm.
are you all reality, reality,
I'm,
reality?
like, major reality girly, like, I love Love Is Blind on Netflix, I'm such a sucker, and it's so bad. I don't really fuck with The Bachelor anymore, I was dabbling, would dip my toe in and out, but I think that when you're a Bravo fan, the I'm gonna say the word, like, algorithm is
Mhm.
very different when you go to, like, ABC reality. It's like, "Oh, this shit, like, this is so boring compared to Bravo." Like, I don't it's so repetitive and, like, redundant at this point. I feel like no one really goes on The Bachelor. But to answer your question, I do watch, like, I loved House of Dragons. I loved White Lotus. I love like, I'm a Gilmore Girls
Yes.
rewatcher through and through. Sex in the City rewatch, like all of it. So I do a little bit, but not a lot.
Well, it's like once you go Bravo, you don't go back.
No, that's very true. Like,
It's
there's
like,
definitely a hierarchy when it comes to reality television. Like, Bravo's at the tippy top.
yeah,
Then
obviously.
you get, I gotta say, TLC is probably at the bottom. Like, that's where I go when I'm feeling really trashy. Like, when I really want something like really crazy, I'm like, oh, TLC's got something for me today. Like, I notably I was really into 1,000-Pound Sisters during COVID. I was like,
What is that?
it's these two sisters, and they're 1,000 pounds
1,000
Together?
pounds?
Like
together.
500 each?
Yeah,
Okay.
and like
Okay.
one
Oh.
of them,
Like, that's not possible to be 1,000
one of
each.
yeah, no, and like one of them just had a baby. It was just something that I've just like, it was the craziest thing. And I was living with my mom during COVID, who was like, she talks so much shit about these shows, but then like we'll like sit down and be like, so like who's doing this? And actually we were watching Salt Lake City together, and she has a comment about you, Whitney.
Oh, I want to hear your mom's comment.
She was like, okay, so my mom is like so funny. She was like obsessed, and please, means in the most respectful way possible. She was obsessed with your boobs.
Whitney does have great boobs.
Because there's that one confessional this season. I think you're in red.
Yes.
And my mom was like, are those her breasts? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh my God. Like, she was staring at them the whole episode. She was just in awe. I was like, can you like get a fucking grip? Like, it was so funny. But
Well,
yeah.
Tell her they are my breasts. And I do have to thank Dr. Howland here in Draper, Utah.
Shout out.
I mean, Dr. Howland is the god of boobs for sure.
I mean, your boobs are amazing, as we've discussed.
Yeah, thank you. It has, I mean, clearly season 2, they were a topic of conversation over and over and over.
Of course. I mean, Tamra Judge is like really the pioneer in like showing boobs on Housewives. Like, I've seen her boobs more than I've ever seen my own. Like, it's really crazy.
I've actually seen her boobs.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, just kidding.
I was like, I'm sure you have. Like,
I actually just saw a clip pop up on Instagram the other day of like the first season of OC when she sits down in the pool and she's like, I am the hottest housewife in OC.
And it's like, she is.
She is and still
like,
is.
Still is. Like, she's so striking in real life.
Tell your mom thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And if she wants to fly out to Utah, I have the hookups for her.
Oh my God. Well, that is like, if I ever get engaged, to my boyfriend, I always say that I want my bachelorette to be like at a ski resort. Oh. So Utah, hi. Isn't there skiing there?
Lots of skiing. Yeah, we're known for skiing here.
I was like, you guys are skiing on the show. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, we were just up at the nicest resort yesterday. Yeah. We have a lot of great places.
Yeah, Utah's known for having some of the best snow on earth. I don't even know how many ski resorts we have here. I should know that, but it's like double digits. We were at Alta Ski Resort yesterday at Snow Pine Lodge. We went to the Stillwell Spa. So even if you like just want to appraise ski, we have all the spots for you.
I love that.
Do you ski, Sam?
I do ski. So I'm not a very athletic person. And so when I went skiing for the first time, everyone thought I was going to be terrible at it. And I was so fucking good at it. And I shit on everybody.
Natural.
Black diamonds. Like,
what?
Your first time?
Yeah. I was like, let's do it. Incredible. Yeah.
That says everything we need to know about you.
I was like, I'm so good at this.
I lived here my whole life and I'm terrible at it. So
oh my God.
Much
respect. The thing is, I'm so not athletic. Like, I never did sports. Like, it was just not for me, but skiing I'm really good at.
Did you dance or do anything else like that?
No.
What were you into as a kid?
I'm an only child, so I watched a lot of TV as a kid. I did horseback riding from the ages of like 5 to 16. So I did that and I know people call it a sport, but it was more of just like something fun for me to do. And then
Did
I
you do
did
like the
play
English, like where
softball.
you jump the horse and
Yeah, we did.
yeah.
I did all that. I didn't do like shows and stuff. It was more of just like a weekly thing that I would just do. But I really loved it because, like I said, I'm not like very athletic, so that to me felt like very doable. And then I did try out for the softball team in high school. It was horrible. Horrible. Got hit in the
But you can
face with the
skate.
ball.
But you were a representative for, so you did like People Magazine Olympics, Us Weekly
Girl,
Olympics. That was your
I
childhood sport.
that was my childhood, and I always say to my parents, I'm like, "Look at me now."
Yep.
Like, they would always yell at me for, like, looking at garbage or what they considered lowbrow, and now, I made a living out of it,
Yeah, you're
so I got
monetizing it
the
now.
last laugh.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about that yesterday up at we had a spa day up at the Stillwell spa, and we were talking about like the difference, like back then we read magazines. Like when
Mhm.
I went on an airplane, I bought all of the magazines and
All
read
of
them, right?
them.
Now
Mhm.
our kids are just on their phones.
They don't know, they don't get it. They don't
No.
get it. Like,
But I'm glad to know that, like, because we were talking about the influence of technology and how addicted our kids are to phones and
yeah.
devices. But I mean, there's hope. Samantha Bush made a living out of loving People magazine and reality TV.
Exactly. Like, I based my entire personality off of the opening segment to Regis and Kathy Lee. Like, I can't get enough.
I
Can't
Yeah.
get enough.
watched that back in the day religiously every single day. My
Every
favorite.
day at 9 a.m. Eastern
My
Standard Time.
Yeah, my favorite. I was raising little babies at the time, so I was like every morning making beds, watching.
I mean, it was like the thing to do.
It was, and so
Kid
entertaining.
what I want to come back more is like traditional press tours, like with actual movie stars. Like this Tickets to Paradise press tour with George Clooney and Julia Roberts was truly everything that I've wanted for years because I just feel like people don't do that anymore. And like I feel like there's no like real stars. Like no one's like a celeb like a movie star anymore. You know what I mean? Because like it's so I don't know, lots of
Well,
TikTok stars
it's
now.
yeah, I think just with the influence of social media and YouTube and TikTok, like that fame and stardom is spread out to more people. But the like fame only lasts for a minute now.
Yeah, it's
Like,
fleeting.
yeah.
There's not a lot of staying power anymore. But I think with Housewives, it's a little different. You guys have staying power. You guys are, you know, in the zeitgeist of pop culture.
Well, it's an honor to be here. Still don't know how I made it here, but I'm
It's
here.
incredible. You
Yeah,
manifested, but
I
you just
know.
didn't know. It was very subconscious.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think it was my love for Bravo.
Mhm.
Like Bravo
And
just
I always say,
felt
like,
it.
all roads lead to Bravo. Like, in some way, like, there will be a tie-in at this point. Like, it's really crazy. Like, any news story, I mean, like, A-Rod and J-Lo tied to Southern Charm. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like, it's
Mhm.
all really crazy how that
Nicki
happens.
Minaj to Potomac, Rihanna to Salt Lake City. Like, well, ours
Yeah.
isn't as big. We just got, a DM and a comment, but
Yeah, but that's still major from
yes.
Rihanna. I think Rihanna's bigger than Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, I agree with that
Yeah.
for sure. Well, Samantha, I could talk to you for hours. This is
Okay. Me too,
so,
girl.
I mean, but I gotta let you go
Yeah.
for
I'm so
now.
sad,
We'll,
but good luck
we'll
with
talk
everything
again.
in your podcast. It's gonna be amazing.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on. We love you, and let everyone know where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me at Bravo Historian on Instagram. I'm at Take Your Zoloft on Twitter. I also have the podcast Hot Off the Mess. So that comes out every Tuesday and Friday.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, beautiful Samantha Bush. We love you. And after the break, we will be getting to our burning questions. Welcome back to the Wild Rose podcast. Samantha Bush was phenomenal.
I love her. She was so entertaining. I can totally see why she's so successful with her podcast and everything. She's the ultimate Bravo fan.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. I love
And
it.
I'm glad that she likes me now.
Yeah.
But let's get to it. Burning questions. I handed my phone over to Connie. She's in my DMs.
I'm in your DMs. Ooh, don't swipe which way? Right, left?
But let's answer some burning questions.
Okay. I'm kind of nervous to ask this one because I'm afraid it might involve me, but it's tell us some funny drunk stories by Kyle D. Claire is asking this.
Kyle D. Claire.
Kyle D. Claire, funny drunk stories.
Well, thank you at Kyle D. Claire. Oh my God. Drunk stories. I mean, just between Connie and I alone, there's so many, but have I already told the story when we were at the airport and you pulled your suitcase off the carousel? Did I already tell that?
Yeah, I think you did mention that one.
I mean, there are so many funny drunk stories.
I was worried because I thought you were going to bring up the vodka bang story.
Oh, well, now I'm
California?
going to. Yeah. I was actually going to tell, there's so many, but I'm like, funny. How much do we want people to know? Okay. So there's so many funny drunk stories. I mean, just like silly, funny, really funny. But one of our favorite like drinking stories, I think, is sometimes Connie can get a little moody when she drinks. I mean, we all can. But my story isn't really a funny story. It's about taking Connie from a mean drunk to a happy drunk. So we have this joke in our friendship that we say bangin' vodka. And it's kind of like a code word, bangin' vodka.
Like, does Connie need a bangin' vodka? Yeah. Or does anyone need it?
Yeah. So, when you're like out with friends or family or whatever, and everyone's having a great time, but there's that one person that's just kind of pissed off or emotional or whatever. So we're out to dinner and Connie,
wait, can I clarify? This is bang the energy drink.
Yes. Bang the energy drink and vodka. Okay. So our code word, thank you for
bang could be a lot of things.
I mean, it could lead to that, but no, bang energy drink and vodka. So we're out to dinner and Connie's at the point, I think it was just, we've been day drinking, and when you're emotional already or something's bothering you, it amplifies that, right? I look over, Connie and I usually always sit across from each other. That's just like kind of our thing. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, we actually do.
We always sit across from each other. And I look over at Connie. I'm laughing, having the best time. And Connie has her fork and she's stabbing her food and eating it aggressively and just looking around the table like so mad that everyone's having fun.
No idea.
She was like so mad that everyone was laughing and she wasn't, and no one was noticing her. So, because Connie in our group is kind of like, I think Connie, we're all queens. All of our friends are very powerhouse, alpha, strong women. But like, we always tease Connie that it's her world and we're just living in it. So Connie's like stabbing her food so hard and aggressively eating. So I'm just like, Connie, what's wrong? I go over to her and she's like, I'm done. I want to go. And so I'm like, all right. Oh shit. Cause it's our last night on vacation. We're with friends, visiting friends in California. And so we get in the car and Connie and I are in the back third row of an SUV, and her and her husband are bickering a little bit. Like, I'm like, Connie's in a really bad mood. So I sit with Connie because Ben's like, I can't deal with her right now. So I go sit in the back with Connie, and it doesn't matter what I'm saying, what I'm doing. She is just like not having it. She's not going to turn her mood around, but I didn't want her to go to bed yet. Like, the fun wasn't over. So I was like, pull over the car, go get us a Bang energy drink and some vodka. And I don't know why that just came out of my mouth. It just came out of my mouth.
I think because I was like, no, I'm tired. You're like, there's a 7-Eleven. Let's go get some Bang.
Yes. So they pull over. The men go inside, pass back a Bang and a vodka. I make her take a shot of vodka and start sipping on a Bang. And next thing I know, it's like, I don't know what changed.
5 minutes in,
I have her giggling and laughing to the point. And I'm like, do you know what your problem is you're dressed. you have clothes on. That's the problem. And she thought it was so funny. So I like take off her jacket. And we're just with our husbands, by the way.
Right.
So I'm like, it's the clothes. You're too restricted. And so we take her bra off and we throw it to the front of the car. And no shit, it like hangs on the mirror.
It looped around, swung around the rear view mirror. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, wait, what? I think that who was driving?
I don't even remember who was driving.
I think we almost crashed though.
Yeah.
At that point.
The driver had no idea what was going on. Like a bra flings up to the front seat. And Connie's now giggling and having the best time ever because she's sitting topless in the back of the car. And we just thought it was the funniest thing. And we get out of the car and Connie gets out, like forgetting that she doesn't have clothes on. So I take my denim coat and throw it over her. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I remember we walked by. I remember getting kind of a funny look from the guy in the lobby working there, kind of looking. And then I looked down and I have a jacket kind of on, but not all the way on. So anyways. Yeah.
So that is one of our drinking funny. It turned into a funny story.
Yeah. And that's when I realized that Whitney has this gift of turning my mood around. And I think that proves what a good friend you are to me. Because actually, I don't think a lot of people can. When I get in that space, it's hard to turn it around. But now it's just, banging vodka.
Yeah. So anyone, when your friend's having a hard time, just a banging vodka.
Yeah.
Just gets it done. And now Ben calls me the Connie Whisperer. Ben is her husband. I don't know. We're just friends like that. Like we get each other and we get what triggers each other, upsets each other, and you just sometimes need to be seen and heard.
I know. And sometimes
take your clothes off.
And take your clothes off. And sometimes it can't come from your husband or your boyfriend, or it just has to be from your best friend.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
I vibe with you different.
So if you're ever down and out, just bang in vodka and take your clothes off.
There you go. All right.
So thank you, Kyle DeClaire.
Yeah, great question. We could go on and on, actually, but that was a funny one. Let's see. This one is, well, I feel like this is kind of a silly question to ask, but maybe he just doesn't know. This is from Just Bill. He's asking, are you married? Whitney, are you married?
That is kind of a silly question. Yes, I am married and I'm celebrating 13 years this month.
Yes.
And clearly you don't watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City or my Instagram.
This ring on her
or my Instagram.
Or, yeah.
Or this.
Paige Christina asks, what are your long-term career goals? And could you do stand-up comedy or host a late night show?
Oh,
that's fun.
Two very good questions, Paige. Long-term career goals are to diversify as much as I can. I want to build as many successful brands that I can over the next 5 to 10 years. And when I say diversify income, I mean having multiple streams of revenue. So Wild Rose Beauty, I have another thing I'm working on right now, podcasting, the show, all of that. And my goal is to have multiple streams of revenue so that I never have to worry. And I'm working so hard right now. I see this as like a 5 to 10 year goal. Then hopefully I can retire and become a lady of leisure with Connie.
End goal.
Yeah. And then stand-up comedian. Am I funny?
I think you're hilarious. Stand-up comedy. I don't know. What do you think? Could you do it?
I mean, if people thought I was funny, then I could do it.
Do you think of that many jokes all at once?
I don't think honestly, I would probably have to like get drunk or high and then just make fun of the audience. I think that's all what comedians do, right?
That's pretty
I went to Joe Coy last week and I was like, all he's doing is making fun of us and we're all laughing. It's like,
I think you could do it.
But a late night show, that would be so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could see you doing that.
You could?
Yeah. I think you'd love that.
A late night show.
That'd be fun.
Late night podcasting with Whitney Rose. Well, just listen to this at night and then it'll be your late night show.
Got to start somewhere. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I can't get into your phone
Well,
anymore, but those are good
again,
questions.
those were really good questions.
Except
and
for the
again,
marriage.
thank you all for your questions. We love to hear from you. Keep DMing us any questions that you have or any topics you would like to hear us discuss. We love you and appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe, review, and share the Wild Rose podcast with all of your friends. And until next time, we love you. Be you. Stay wild. Mwah.